Hey, Kickstarters. I hope you all had an amazing weekend and have shown up today with the intentionality of being the best version of you and to continue to follow through with yourself and these commitments that you've made to be a part of this program, to show up for yourself, to just follow through with this and committing to whatever your goal is in this program and taking it to the end. We have 2 weeks left. We're in week 3. This is the exciting time. You're either continuing to reset your body, or you've decided today to choose one of the common irritants and slowly reintroduce it. So it's exciting because you get to determine how certain foods are going to be affecting your body, and then this is the part where you get to start creating the best way of eating for your unique body, which we'll talk more about. So before I dive into the session today, I always love to start with on a positive note. So what is one thing that you can celebrate from this past week? Drop it in the comments if you're tuning in live or watching the replay. And if you're watching, please let me know so I know that you have caught this. Or I don't know why I said tuning in live. I'm not doing this live. So when you watch this, please drop in the comments that you've watched this and share something that you could celebrate, because I want to celebrate with you, and I know the rest of the Kickstarters would like to celebrate and honor all of the work you've put into. So last week, I invited you to start to notice and honor your hunger and your fullness, and I'm curious, out of those 6 practices that I shared, which ones were the most beneficial to you? And do you have any practices of your own that you have found to be beneficial in honoring your inner hunger and fullness scale? So feel free to pop those in the comments, because I would love to hear which ones were of most use for you, and if you have any other ones, because then I can recommend them to other people. We can all support one another. So today, I want to focus our session on paying attention to how foods affect your body. Now, before I really dig into today's coaching topic, I want to discuss the whole reintroduction process if you have decided that you want to go that route today. And just so you have this awareness, the goal of reintroduction is to isolate one common food irritant at a time to determine if you are intolerant or sensitive to it, or have an allergy to it. The explanation of this whole process can be found in your Kickstart handbook on pages 22 and 23. If for some reason you don't have that, which by this point you definitely should have access to that, but if for some reason you don't, please let me know right away so I can forward that over your way. With that being said, I always recommend either starting out with gluten or dairy, because gluten and dairy are the top 2 sensitivities or intolerances that I know that people have. So it's good to start off with those 2 categories to determine if one of the 2 there are one of your common intolerances or sensitivities to it. So you can decide if you want to do gluten or if you want to do dairy first. And then the other thing that you have the power to decide is if you want to reintroduce dairy for 1 whole day or 2 whole days, same with gluten, or in anything that you go about reintroducing. So after you have gluten or dairy for 1 to 2 days, then after that process, you need to reset your body for 2 days. So 2 days of eating reset-friendly foods again. Because it allows the body time to remove the irritant from your system. It allows it to become a fresh palate per se. So when you reintroduce the next item, you can determine with certainty what irritant may be causing you to hold excess weight, to experience stomach cramps or bloating, mess with your sleep, or cause moodiness, etc. Foods can actually cause many reactions that we're not even aware of within our body. So again, by isolating it, you'll be able to determine if it's dairy or if it's gluten or if it's nightshades. Whereas if you didn't give your body that time to reset again, you might not know if it was the dairy or the gluten. So that reset portion, those 2 days of resetting, is extremely important. One other thing that I just thought of in regards to reintroducing dairy is a tricky one because there's different protein, lactose proteins within each of the types of dairy. So for example, you might have cheese and you might be fine with cheese, but then you have some milk and you're not okay with it. So dairy could even be stretched a little bit longer depending on how you want to go about it. And I can talk in more detail about that if you have any questions in regards to that. Now, how do you go about reintroducing gluten or reintroducing dairy? You just pick something. So for gluten, you could have bread or pasta, and I would recommend having that 1 to 2 times a day for 1 to 2 days. And then I'll talk about how to bring that self-awareness forward to how your body reacts to it. Same with dairy. When you're reintroducing dairy, you want to focus on like milk or cheese. Ice cream can be reintroduced later because ice cream also contains sugar. So that gets a little finicky. Same with yogurts. Unless you're having like a completely plain yogurt, what am I trying to say? With the yogurt and the ice cream, you might not be able to determine if it's the sugar that's causing your reaction or if it's the dairy. So it's best to just focus on, like I said, cheese or milk or anything else. I'm having a hard time coming up with dairy products because I don't eat dairy products. So if you have a question about something that's dairy related and you're reintroducing that, let me know. Either comment on here or pop me an email and I can respond to that and let you know if it's an okay thing or if I think you should hold off and wait. And then I already said with gluten, pasta or bread. And then so in regards to paying attention, all about today's session is paying attention to how certain foods affect your body. You bring awareness to it. And oftentimes we're not conscious when we're eating because we're just so used to mindlessly eating. We're doing 1,000 other things, rushing from here to there, watching TV, talking, interacting with our kids, whatever it might be. We're not completely present when we're eating our foods or how we feel after we eat certain foods. And it's so important to pay attention to how certain foods affect our body because by becoming self-aware of how your body is reacting, you're going to be able to determine if a certain food has caused you to be constipated or going to the bathroom more frequently or feeling bloated or gassy from both ends or maybe sleep interrupted, waking up often with many dreams. Or are you feeling tired or moody or experiencing brain fog? Now is the time to get really curious with yourself and your reactions. This is the key to helping you determine the best way to eat for you and your unique body. So to be able to determine which foods cause certain reactions, and I have such a bad knot in my neck, so I apologize. I'm sorry that I keep like poking at it, but there's a little bit of tension back there. To be able to determine which foods cause certain reactions in your body, you need to be in tune with how you feel before you eat them, while you're eating them, and after you eat them. And I've emailed you all a food journal that will allow you to do just that. And it contains guided questions, which will help you know where to focus your attention and what to be aware of. So you're not just going in thinking, okay, what do I need to be paying attention to? There's some guiding questions to help you with that. And I want to stretch you this week and next week to take the extra step of journaling your reactions to the foods. It's very crucial. This step is extremely crucial in being able to determine the highest quality foods to eat for your body. And I know that it may take a little extra time to go through this process, but I promise you in the long run, you'll be thankful that you did it now. And you don't have to always do this. This is not something that you have to be putting into your life, that you have to write down everything you eat and write down your reactions to everything. Just right now in this program, as I said, it's crucial because this is going to help you determine the best way to eat and the highest quality foods for your specific body. And that's the whole purpose of this program, is determining the best way to eat and how to eat, so that you can feel your absolute best. So it would be a shame if you felt like you couldn't take the time to do that, and then you go through this program and then you don't get that takeaway. So I'm stretching you as your coach to please, please, please take the time and do this, because I promise you, as I said, like already, it's going to make a huge impact on your life. Now, if you have any questions at all about this topic, or you haven't received the journal, please comment below, and we can absolutely chat about that. So before we wrap up the session for today, I have a few action steps I would love for you to complete this week. The first is to journal your reactions to the foods you reintroduce and be mindful of how they are affecting your body. Use pages 22 to 23 of your handbook to help you with this whole process. And I am here to answer any questions you might have about the reintroduction process, the journaling process, anything at all. Please let me know. That is my job as your coach here. It's to support you, it's to stretch you, and it's to hold you accountable. The second thing is to review and practice the honoring your hunger and fullness habits. Remember to eat to 80% fullness so that you feel energized and satisfied, but not overly stuffed. And if you haven't seen, I shared a post about creating a magic plate for each snack and meal. Creating this magic plate is like one of those key needle movers to helping you feel your absolute best, lose weight if you're looking to lose weight, maintain weight loss, balance your blood sugar. So this is something you don't want to miss out on. And the great thing about the magic plate is it's flexible. So it's a template, and it's there for you to use and experiment with to determine how much food that your body needs at each meal and each snack. And I call it a magic plate because it helps to balance your blood sugar and prevents you from going on that blood sugar roller coaster, which if you don't know what I'm talking about in regards to that, let me know, because I can add you to my Radiate Your Best Life free group. I'm doing a whole training series on balancing your blood sugar, the importance of it, and tips to ensure that you can have a balanced blood sugar. And where was I going with that? Oh, but for the magic plate, you want to make sure that you're having a fiber, a protein, and a healthy fat at each meal. It gives you recommended portion sizes. And again, as I said, you play with it. I would just get curious for the first day and plate your food as you normally do. Have the template next to you and kind of see in comparison what they look like. And again, just do this with curiosity. Don't do this with judgment. And just say, I'm noticing that my plate is a little bit more heavy with the starchy vegetables or the carbohydrate. I'm noticing that I actually don't have any protein, animal or plant protein on my plate. And then just thinking about, well, how can I plate my food differently next time? What do I need to change up in order to make this a magic meal? And then also noticing when you're practicing your honoring fullness, when you're eating from your plate, notice like what you start with eating, if there's food left on your plate, if you've eaten the whole thing and you're feeling overly stuffed, because that is going to help you be more mindful when you're actually taking your food and plating it, because maybe next time you don't need as much, or you're noticing that you're still really hungry, you've had enough water, you're not dehydrated, you might need a little bit more of the veggies, or you might need a little bit more of a healthy fat or a complex carbohydrate to aid in feeling satisfied and 80% full and energized. So that is your third action step for this week. Next Monday is our final session, which is unbelievable in this group. As always, if you have any questions, if challenges arise, or you just need a little extra support, please reach out to me. That is what I'm here to do as your coach. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope you have an amazing day and an amazing week. And stay tuned for your emails and keep checking into the group, because there are some awesome resources and tips that will be shared throughout the week. And please make sure you're doing those check-in posts. Remember, each time you check in, you get a ballot for the end of the program to be entered into a prize drawing for a healthy living little package that I will be giving out to someone that I choose. So the more times you do the check-ins, the more times your name is going to end up in that bucket for the winner, and you want to make sure you win that. So do those check-ins and stay accountable. All right, I will talk to you all soon.